I'm not gonna lie, I am absolutely thrilled to be making this video. It seems every day now that Democrats are taking another idiotic, extremely unpopular position. And every day you think they can't possibly top the stupidity of the day before. But somehow, I'll admit it, they keep surprising me. I must be giving them way too much credit still. A whole slew of polls today came out showing the Democrat Party more unfavorable, more unpopular than ever before, topping their disastrous polls from the week before, which at the time showed them at a record low. As always, like the video and subscribe to the channel, but I want to start with what has to be the craziest news of the past 24 hours. Another Obama activist judge made a ruling against Donald Trump's deportation of violent Venezuelan gang members, ordering the Trump administration to turn these flights around and bring violent gang member illegal immigrants back into the country. Here is ghetto Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, who is a representative of Texas, by the way, one of the places impacted the worst by the illegal immigration crisis, actually defending bringing back gang members. Watch.
To deport undocumented Venezuelans that the administration say are dangerous individuals with ties to the gang Tren de Aragua. That gang is obviously associated with a lot of crime, human trafficking, drug dealing, theft, shootings, including in your state of Texas, right outside of your congressional district. Do you agree with this? And if not, what's your issue with the U.S. using any tool at its disposal to remove undocumented, violent people from this country?
Well, my argument is that we already have tools that are available to remove undocumented violent people from our country. And so the idea that you want to go into a zombie law, this is kind of like what we saw in Arizona when they decided to revive a zombie law around abortion. It is the fact that we can't trust this administration to actually use a scalpel, but instead they love to use a butcher knife on things. And so giving them this wide latitude to just kind of go across and just claim that anybody is anything is wrong. And so we do have courts, we do have processes, we do have laws, and we should just go ahead and use those.
It is stances like that are contributing to the extreme unpopularity of the Democrats. These people are so Trump deranged, they're so anti-Trump, that not standing for children who are surviving brain cancer wasn't enough. They had to stoop even lower. They are fighting for the rights, if you can even call it that, of violent illegal immigrant gang members. So Trump had 3 planes chock full of violent gang members en route to El Salvador, because El Salvador's president said, we'll happily take these guys, put them in our maximum security prison, and let them be our problem. And mid-flight, this Obama activist judge issues a ruling trying to get these planes to turn around. Spoiler alert, they did land in El Salvador, but it prompted the president of El Salvador to post this on X. He said, oopsies, too late. I mean, I don't know what else to do but laugh at that. Please smash the like button if you enjoyed that. I mean, how diabolical, how anti-American, how delusional do you have to be to think that you're the good guy for ordering violent gang members who illegally broke into the country to be returned back to the United States? And to add insult to injury of President Bukele's amazing oopsies too late tweet, they posted this video of the planes arriving and the criminals being sent to their maximum security prison. Let me show you a snippet of that. Watch. So Trump invoked the Alien Enemies Act of 1798 to expedite this whole process of getting these vicious, violent gang members out of our country. And Democrats want to argue, oh no, they're owed fair trial, due process, spend taxpayer money to take these people to court. These aren't random people they're snatching off the street. These are known criminals who have committed crimes in the United States and are known gang members associated with these organizations. They hate Americans so much and stand for illegals so much that they're the only ones who can view 12 million people illegally coming across the country in 4 years as not an invasion. And this is just one of many lack of common sense issues that the Democrats are deciding they are going to die on this hill, and this is what their party represents. Leading to this NBC poll coming out today, showing that the Democrat Party has hit a brand new all-time record low.
Look at the numbers here for Democrats, 27% positive, more than double 55% negative. And we'll just put this on a graph for you in our poll here. This goes back a long ways, and you can see the trend line for both parties. This is what's happened to the Democrats since the election.
That is astonishing, Steve. That's an historic low, right?
That is in more than 30 years of this poll. We've never seen either party hit a number this low in terms of...
Hey, but let the Democrats tell it, they just have a messaging problem. They've somehow convinced themselves that every position that they're taking is somehow exactly what the American people want. They just haven't been able to articulate it to them in an effective way. The absolute lack of self-awareness coming from the left is nothing short of psychopathic. It would be like if somebody showed people and told people for 4 years straight just how awful they were, just how much they hated them. They stole from you, they physically assaulted you, they destroyed your house, they ruined your life. And then when everybody stops hanging out with that person, instead of changing their behavior, they think the way to get people to actually like them is to spend even more time with them doing the exact same things you did to ruin their life before. Listen to Senator Chris Murphy, easily one of the most Trump-deranged Democrats, try to give his opinion, his explanation for why the Democrat approval rating is at record low.
Our new NBC News poll, as you just saw, shows the Democratic Party at an all-time low approval rating. Why do you think Democrats are failing to connect with Americans at this critical moment of urgency, which you describe?
Well, it's what I just talked about. I mean, I think Americans want the Democratic Party to stand up and fight and to take risks. Listen, I understand that had we gone into a shutdown, even for a handful of days, it would have been difficult, but it would have sent a message that the Democratic Party is not going to be bullied by Donald Trump. We are not going to let them write spending bills unilaterally that cut programs for people we care about, that give the president new and extraordinary power. I think Democrats in this country, but I think the broad middle of the public as well, want to see our party fighting in exceptional ways. That is the conversation that has to happen inside of the Democratic Party, inside our caucus. And if we don't get that right, if we continue to work with Republicans, if we continue to hand Donald Trump more power, we are going to lose our democracy.
So even though ever since Donald Trump was inaugurated, the Democrat approval rating has been on a steady free fall, which correlates directly to their anti-Trump, opposed Trump stance, they still assume that the American people want them to fight, want them to resist, when in reality, it's just the small fringe part of their party, or rather, it's their entire party at this point, because their small fringe portion is like the entire party. It's all 27% of people who approve of them, who want them to keep fighting Donald Trump because they're just Trump deranged. The rest of America, anybody with common sense, sees everything that Trump is doing and is like, that's actually a pretty good idea. I actually expect these numbers to keep going lower because the Democrats can't even do what their radical base is asking them. Their sing-song protests aren't working. Their corny, cringy TikTok videos aren't working. The one thing they had that they could have done was filibustered the spending bill. It would have caused a government shutdown, which still would have been a win for Trump, but they can't even do that. And it's because, like I always say, it's a combination of, yes, they are completely spineless and incompetent, but it's also they don't believe this threat to democracy Nazi nonsense. It's the only talking point they have. It's the same fear-mongering strategy that lost them the election, and they're so void of creativity and good ideas that they've decided regurgitating the same nonsense that got them in this mess is better than nothing at all. Now, while Democrats are getting hit with the most brutal reality check anybody's ever seen, Trump's numbers, unsurprisingly, are doing better than anybody's ever seen. Take a look.
First of all, the mood of the country. This really jumped out. We asked folks, is it on the right direction or the wrong direction? That 44%, you say right direction, that's up since November. And if that doesn't seem like a lot, the last time it cracked 40%, you got to go back to 2012. The last time it actually hit 44 or higher, January of 2004. So a lot of this is Republicans, but independents, that number is also up since the election on the direction of the country.
What I didn't show in that video is they had Donald Trump's approval rating at 47%. And they try to frame it as a bad thing, showing all these other presidents and saying, oh, it's much lower than these guys were at the same time in their term. But if those presidents' approval ratings were so spectacular, and I'm talking about Biden and Obama, why have they never seen 44% of the country think that the country's on the right track since 2004? I mean, it's all a sham. People are seeing the hard empirical data coming out. Egg prices are down, gas is down, inflation is down, but yet the Democrats want to stick with the talking point that everything is on fire and people are furious with what Donald Trump is doing. Watch this epic video of Hakeem Jeffries, Walmart Obama, on MSNBC trying to say how bad everything is with a picture of the inflation rate of Donald Trump right now stitched right under the video while he's lying through his teeth.
We have the Republicans on the run on three different issues. We have them on the run with respect to the economy. Donald Trump and House Republicans promised that they were going to lower the high cost of living. But instead, costs haven't gone down. They've gone up. Inflation is going up. Why? Because Donald Trump and Republicans haven't been focused on doing anything to lower the high cost of living. Not a single bill, not a single executive action, not a single administrative order. We, as House Democrats, have to make sure we forcefully make the case to everyday Americans that we are trying to build an affordable economy. We know that costs are too high, and we know that people are struggling to live paycheck to paycheck, and that should never happen in the wealthiest country in the history of the world. We got to hold the line as it relates to the economic narrative, and we see that Trump's poll numbers are collapsing in that regard.
And that is why there is a universal consensus that the Democrats absolutely suck. They're liars. All they can do is lie. Trump wants world peace. They say, he's actually just a puppet of Putin. He's a Russian asset. Donald Trump tries to cut waste from the government that even Democrats will admit is there. He's trying to cut Social Security, Medicaid, make 100 million people homeless and starve. Donald Trump secured $1.8 trillion of private investment into the United States. Tariffs are going to be the worst thing for the American consumer and businesses and the economy. They think they look so respectable and honorable, not standing for kids who survive brain cancer because, Donald Trump's a fascist. And now you've got rogue federal judges trying to order violent gang members to come back to the country, and Democrat politicians applauding and supporting this decision. The last thing I'm going to show you to just hammer in the point of how doomed the Democrat Party is for the foreseeable future. Look at who they're trying to anoint as their next leader in 2028. Watch.
The question Democrats have confronted since Election Day is, who actually is leading their party? Well, a new CNN poll out this morning gives us a sense of who Democrats and Democratic-leaning voters think best aligns with their party's core values. And that's Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, the New York Democrat and progressive firebrand who was furious at Senate Democrats for allowing the GOP spending bill to become law. Now, it all comes as a slew of potential Democratic presidential candidates are already testing the waters for 2028. My panel is back. So just to look at a little bit more in this poll, the question about who best reflects the core values of the Democratic Party, if you break down among age group, perhaps no surprise, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, a few people who are younger than 45, 15% say that she does. That's more than Kamala Harris.
So the Democrats somehow believe that their winning strategy, the person to lift them from this pit of despair, is someone even more radical and more unpopular than who their current leadership is. Yes, please, I am begging you, anoint AOC as the leader of the party, please. Matter of fact, let Kamala Harris run again with AOC as her vice president. I 100% support that decision. I have to just believe that these people are masochists, that they have some sort of humiliation fetish. And that honestly wouldn't surprise me coming from the side that thinks men can become women and children should be overly sexualized by their teachers. But nonetheless, to summarize, in conclusion, I don't think there's another time in the last 100 years to be more embarrassed to be a Democrat than right now today. But let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. How low is the Democrat approval rating gonna go? Because I don't think 27% is the floor. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss a video. And I will see you guys in the next one.